G'day viewers. Well, it's competition time. I've been hinting about this for a little while, and in fact the hints have led to a little bit of fevered speculation in some quarters, but it's no huge surprise. I'm just having a little competition. Now this competition was inspired by the number of comments I've got from people saying, oh, I wish I had a camera and I could do some things, or this crappy little webcam means I can't get out and do things. Well, this competition's for you. And in case you haven't guessed, the prize for this competition is a digital camera. Now, I don't want anyone getting too excited. This is not some huge flash sponsored competition. This is just something I'm doing. I was able to pick this camera up for cheap. This is the camera. It comes in a lovely little black pouch. It's got a little dangly cord. You'll have to get your own SD card. I'll tell you what, I'll go crazy. I'll leave the batteries in there. 3 AAA batteries. I recommend you invest in some rechargeable ones. There's some plain ones in there now. Now, I'm not going to overstate it. This is quite a decent little camera for snapshots. It's a 5 megapixel still camera. It does video as a backup, and I mean as a real afterthought type of thing. But it's definitely better than nothing, and that's the category we're aiming at here. People who don't have a camera or just have a crappy little webcam who want something to shoot video with. Now, how do you win? Prove to me that you're going to do something wonderful and creative with it. The most creative, inspiring response has to be a video response. We'll get the camera. How do I do a video response when I don't have a camera, you ask? Well, you must have some sort of editing software, like Windows Movie Maker, God forbid, if you're on PC, iMovie if you're on a Mac, and if you don't, just go online and find some free or trial versions. You can just splice together some stills or some bodgy little stuff with just a hint of the greatness that you will achieve if you have your own video camera. Well, not really a video camera, it's a digital camera that shoots video. But you get my drift. So, prove to the world how great you're going to be. I will go off popular acclaim, probably, unless I think someone stacked it. Now, I want to keep this as short and simple as possible, but a little word about competitions. Whenever anyone on YouTube or pretty much anywhere online or anything at all runs a competition, it's because they want something from you. They want attention, they want you to buy something. In YouTube terms, people want you to come and watch their videos and vote so they show up on the most subscribed. Guess what? That's what I'm doing. But so, be under no false assumptions. Yeah, I want people to come along and take part in this competition. But you don't have to be a subscriber. You don't have to make a certain number of comments. It's just going to be down to who makes the most inspiring commitment of what they're going to do with the camera. Enough guff from me. Let's have a look at some footage I shot on the camera so you can see the difference between, well, yeah, a good one, like I use, and a pretty ordinary one. That is the prize here. Yes, that's right, I use the camera. It's got Mr. Angry Mojo in it. Another reason to want to win.
Okay, for comparison purposes, this is what it looks like using the camera outside. I'd recommend staying pretty close to the camera. You get a long way away from it. The sound's pretty darn haunting.
So this is the camera in question in action. Now, the frame rate's pretty slow. Very obvious if you move around, the frame rate's not the best. And the sound is also not the best. So file this under better than nothing, which is who the competition's aimed at. People who don't have any sort of camera, or people who have an incredibly dodgy webcam that keeps them tied to the computer and isn't very good quality anyway. Embrace the limitations, that's what I say. Seriously, sometimes creative people do their best work when they've got really limited technology at their disposal. Try looking at some of Sean Bedlam's early videos. He was shooting videos on a fairly low-res camera phone that he only did black and white. Way lower tech than this, and he did some awesome stuff. Embrace limitations, not bounded by them. Just get creative. And if you are interested in winning the camera, the first creative thing you have to do is convince me that you're going to do great things with it.
So that's the camera, that's the competition. You've got 2 weeks from when this goes up to put a response in saying what you would do if you had this camera. Inspire me, inspire everyone who watches, and you could win the camera. After 2 weeks, I'll go through all the responses and I'll come up with a short list, probably about 5, and I'll put them all together so everyone can have a final thought, and I want to hear who everyone thinks has made the best pitch to win the camera. So, you know, got to be in it to win it, folks. Better than nothing, not the most high-tech bit of equipment in the world, but I just get continually surprised by how cheap electronic equipment gets. And I was able to get this for cheap, so I thought, hey, I can afford to, why not? Just have a little competition. Not a big competition, not trying to big note myself. I did not really put myself out for this, but I get the feeling a few people might get into it. In my last competition, the nerd thing, that wasn't even intended as a competition. That was just me doing some nerd trash talk. And then everyone sort of, stepped up and I got nerd served and everyone went nuts. 30 odd responses, people proving they were nerdier than me. But this is an actual deliberate competition on my part, with a prize. Oh, yeah, and Sexy Geeky, who won the other competition, I promise I will actually make that t-shirt and send it someday. I did warn then that it takes me ages to get it together and send things. But I will. Look, here, this is the prize. It's coming to the winner. So respond with a video, well, stuff edited to look like a video response, and say what you would do if you had a camera you could shoot video on. Inspire us, get creative, maybe inspire yourself. I said this was going to be short, and it isn't, is it? Anyway, competition time, enter, you've got 2 weeks, and then the shortlist, and then the final vote. See what you can do.